Hello, everybody. Welcome to this E2G Sports podcast, week 7 of the NFL. Flying right through it. It's Friday, October 18th, the year 2019. It is exactly 11 a.m. Eastern Time, and that's just what we like to be, is on time. And we're going to go from there. Lots to talk about, buddy. We're going to let's set a couple of topics. Obviously, we're going to recap the week ahead, and we're going to maybe touch on the championship series in the American League, as the National League is set with the Washington Nationals making it to their first ever, I said ever,
World Series.
yep, dating back to the Montreal Expos
Montreal
days.
Expos, baby.
Yes. So that's good for them, and they've been ripping and tearing through it, and good pitching always beats good hitting, which is what we're seeing in the American
and if
League
it's
as well.
them in Houston, what some matchups we're going to see.
Dude, it's gonna. You could have the 3-2 games every 3-2 final scores of every game.
How's this for you? Game 1 could be just a total indictment on the 2013 Detroit Tigers not winning with Scherzer and Verlander.
Totally.
Probably going head-to-head in Game 1 of that series.
Yep.
That's pretty crazy.
It is crazy. And when you talk about, everyone being available, like we saw last year, a lot of the starters came into relief. You're going to see some. I mean, the pitching's going to be outstanding.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you love the long ball, so to speak, you may not like the series, but good pitching and close games, that's what we're in for. And I don't see the Yankees coming back as they lost to Houston last night.
Really felt like the end.
It kind of pulled, the air out of the balloon.
That CC thing was kind of sad to watch, too.
It was sad to watch.
The way to watch him go off the mound like that.
Yeah.
His last appearance. That sucked, and it sucked for him. And just
kind of one of
even
those.
Even you're a fan of the enemy, still you respect.
You're still a fan
greatness.
of the sport.
Yeah, you respect greatness, and that's what the guy's been for years.
No question.
So.
Yeah, it was sad, but hey, we've seen it, and I have friends who are Yankee fans, and all they talk about is how the Yankees can mash and this and that, and their pitching could be equivalent. You know what? You can mash the heck out of the ball. I think they went 305 home runs, 306.
306, and Minnesota had 307.
Yes, it's a set record. Right.
Yeah.
Right. So, and what that means nothing in the postseason, especially when it comes down to the championship series. And we're seeing it right here, firsthand. Yankees bats silent, silent, and that Mother Nature did not help their cause the other night because it pushed everybody back.
Yep.
Everybody
just
back.
lines up those starters.
Perfect.
Yeah.
I know my buddy Michael Parente went on Facebook and did a rant about it.
Oh, I saw last night. We love you, Mike.
Typical Mike.
Man.
Yeah, that
I
was
love
great.
Mike.
Yeah, it was great stuff, Michael. Yeah, and I really understand where he's coming from, and he just let it loose for about, I don't know what how many words he had, but it was 3 or 4 paragraphs of just ripping and tearing and some visceral. Anyway, we can talk a little bit about that, and but we do want to focus on the last night's game, Kansas City at Denver, and a little scary there. Chiefs defense showed up, which is what they had to do. The much maligned Kansas City defense garnered 9 sacks, and I think that's about double of what they had every game previous. So
yeah, they really showed up, and
they needed to, and they can do that, and it's a good win. Chiefs are 5-2, 4 of those wins on the road. So they're road warriors, so to speak. The 2 losses have come at home. But the bigger story, buddy, is one Patrick Mahomes. And we knew going in that he was dinged up, and there were reports coming out early yesterday that it was a severe ankle injury.
Yeah, that he's playing through to begin with.
Right.
Never mind what happened.
Right.
That's when you get into the coaching.
Right. What you do and how you manage, and obviously you bring it down a little bit, and you do the quick drop backs and the passes. They have the weapons to do that with Hill and Harden being the speedsters. Having said that, you knew something was wrong when he threw the touchdown pass to Hardman and he kind of walked off the field. Obviously, he's hurting because he would have been right down there at the end zone with the receivers like he is at all times. Having said that, I haven't listened to any KC radio today, and I will when I leave here at some point.
I listened to Denver all morning.
Did you?
So, yeah.
They post-mortem in?
They're calling for Elway's head.
No question.
They pretty much want Garrett Bowles cut. 3 holding penalties. That's 30 in 3 years already.
That's insane.
Ugh.
And we'll get to the penalties after because there's a rash of them now. Rash of them. But again, back on Mahomes, if you're the Chiefs, 4th and 1, what is he doing running the ball?
Yeah, especially when you know the
Yep.
situation. And
if you heard the play-by-play by Mitch Holthus, the play-by-play broadcaster for the Chiefs, as he's running, he said that they're guarding that ankle like the
Yep,
people at
the
Buckingham.
two guards,
It was a great line, and that told me all you need to know, that he shouldn't be running that ball in that situation with the bad ankle. You
Yep.
knew it was bad.
Because he knows a lot more than we know.
Right. So
Being
you're right.
and getting info from Andy Reid, he knows a lot more than we do.
Right. The last thing you want to do is have 4th and 1 and everybody stacked at the line and him running into a pig pile.
Yep.
Because stuff happens right there. They're grabbing and tearing. And sure enough, he came up and it looked as bad. It looked worse than it ended up being. But he dislocated his kneecap. MRI sometime today, probably. If anything breaks here, we'll have it for you. It is relatively early. Something breaks here, we'll have it for you. But did he damage anything around there? We know at least he's going to be out for 3 weeks.
Yeah, and
Minimum.
and just what we talked about on the way in, we just lost Rodgers Mahomes next Sunday night.
Exactly.
We lost that matchup.
Yes. Which would have been, aesthetically.
Just fun to watch.
Sure. Absolutely. They go into Green Bay. Great environment. Or is it at home? I think it's at home.
I think it's at home.
It's at home, right. They play Green Bay at home, Minnesota at home. Go to Tennessee. 3 tough defenses. Matt Moore did okay, but he's not sneaking up on anyone next week. So they've got to find a way to kind of just manufacture, not make mistakes. Like I said, you're going to see Hardman and Hill in there at the same time, speedsters. Do a lot of trick stuff, do a lot of flats if they can run the ball, but not going out on a limb saying the defense may have to carry this team for a while. And they showed signs last night with 9 quarterback sacks, and they were in Joe Flacco's face all day long. Although Joe Flacco takes about 3.5 minutes to get the pass out.
Yeah, no, it was ridiculous. He held on to. He had no pocket awareness whatsoever
None.
last night.
And
it was unbelievable, and he should have known the rush was coming. And Bolus couldn't block anybody, and they were just leaking through.
Yeah, they were.
And he had a strip sack for a touchdown. It was bad. It was really every bit as bad. And one play that I really haven't heard anybody talk about is when he left his running back out to dry on that pass.
Yes, I saw that highlight.
Oh.
What are you doing?
You're Pro Bowl running back, and you nearly get him decapitated. Like, in just his reaction, he got up. Like, you can see this frustration in that room.
Yeah.
I think Drew Lock would have been brought in if he was not on the IR last night. But when he gets back, I think it's kind of a lost season, and Elway has to do something to
It
save
is
his
after
job.
last night. Yeah.
The ownership is bad. Everything's bad out there. The family, I guess, is fighting over money. I listened to a lot of Denver sports radio this morning.
Mm-hmm.
It's a real bad situation there, and the fans are not happy.
Well, of course not. And it was totally obvious last night. But Flacco, he still has the arm, but that offense has there's no identity to that offense.
No,
yet.
there's no.
It's
the
insane.
play calling's terrible.
It is. It's horrible. Now, if you're the Patriots, are you looking at Bill Belichick looking at frustrated Emmanuel Sanders last night?
And going,
Make the call?
yeah, because he spouted off a little bit last night after the game.
He did. And he looked a little frustrated during some of the play, with his demonstrative actions on the field. So a lot's going to shake up in Denver. And we do have the trade deadline still coming up, and the Patriots will do something to make a move.
Yeah, 11 days.
Yep. And we'll talk about the Patriots a little later, but I would imagine they're in the market for a wide receiver, and that may be the guy.
Yeah, especially with Gordon. I think Gordon's out 2 to 4 weeks.
Yeah.
That's some type of ligament stretch.
Yeah, and we'll talk a little bit more because they're on the Monday night matchup against a different New York Jet team, and we'll talk a little bit about Mr. Bennett as well. But let's go around the NFL and make our picks, shall we? First on the slate, I have the Atlanta Falcons at 1-5.
Oh, God.
Who still? Is their head coach still intact?
I
Is
can't
Quinn
believe
still there?
he's still there. I can't believe
What's going on?
It's just got to be that neither one of the coordinators is probably capable of taking over the job. Like, they don't have an interim guy, so they have to ride this out. You're not giving Steve Sarkisian a job.
No, but at this point, do you just need a body with a pulse? There's another voice?
It would be a good idea, but I just think Arthur Blank's going to ride it through.
Yeah.
And when they get to the end of this year, they got a lot of decisions to make
They do.
on players coming up. They're not the best cap team right now. They're paying a lot to Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan's putting up numbers right now.
I know, yes.
Not winning, but putting up numbers.
Yeah, right. He's fantasy
which is
guy.
why he's a good fantasy quarterback and maybe not a real-life quarterback.
Right.
Kind of like Jameis Winston last week. One of the worst games I've ever seen a quarterback play, and he threw for 400 yards.
Yeah,
So
I know. I agree. It's fantasy.
it is what it is.
5 picks. But there's the funny thing about it, too. And I can't. And I'm still a Matt Ryan guy. This team has not been the same since the Super Bowl loss to the Patriots. And bringing in Sarkisian as defensive coordinator, and what he's done with that offense, and I think he's really underutilized the talent.
Yeah. But you can't hand a whole team over to him.
No,
Oh, my
no,
God.
I agree to
Oh,
it, but-
my God.
but-
Just start a Hard Knocks.
But if you're Matt Ryan, I mean, you don't trust this guy who's calling you stuff.
No.
You don't, and he hasn't for years.
No.
But so obviously it starts with the coaching, right? And I can't believe this guy, or you can't bring him in as the head guy.
The only reason he's there, I'm telling you, is they have nobody else to take over interim.
Yeah.
You're not going to bring somebody in from the outside. Yeah, you got to start fresh. And I think you just ride it through the season, and maybe you eke out a few wins, and things go all right. But he was my predicted second coach fired. But now the more I think about it, that's why he's still there.
Yeah, it has to be. You're right. Right. So maybe he sits down and maybe he stays there because of that. But I keep thinking of two college names, Jim Harbaugh and Lincoln Riley. They're going to get calls from people.
Lincoln Riley's going to be in the NFL next
there's
year.
no
Especially if Cliff Kingsbury got in this year. And just the offense he's running with his quarterback, Murray, it looks pretty good.
It does, and it's getting better each week.
Every week,
Yeah.
they're competitive.
They are.
Even against better teams, they're competitive. every
Absolutely.
week.
And
because of the scheme, they scheme it up.
Exactly. There's a team who lacks talent, but
Especially on the defensive side of the
Right,
ball,
but-
when they're scheming it up.
exactly.
Big time.
Right. So Kingsbury, much maligned, is sitting pretty well right now as a coach. And I think it can get better, and we've seen it with each week. Now, the Rams go into Atlanta, who are 3-3 and going in the wrong direction. They have not lost 4 straight in 2016.
We haven't even talked about the other aspect of this.
Marcus
Jalen Ramsey's
Yep.
first game. So he's
Change-
miraculously healthy. He was off the practices.
Right.
He
But-
practiced fully yesterday.
Yeah, but you know what? That said, I think obviously they were waiting for two first-round draft picks. They got it here, which is a lot. But that needed to change, and it should have changed a few weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
So say what you want about all the dissension in there. Change is usually good. I expect him to really flourish well in L.A. But is this team seem desperate to win right now? And if so, why?
Because
They don't have
look at their division, 5-0 and 5-1 ahead of you.
Right. But they don't have a first-round pick for another 5 years right now? Is it true?
It's 5 years total. They'll have one in 2022.
Okay.
They traded next year's and 2021's first-round picks to Jacksonville, which is rare because Tom Coughlin isn't a guy who trades a lot for picks.
Right.
Like, he usually sits pat in the draft.
That's
and
true. He does.
They draft where they draft. It is, what it is.
And I think Jackson was going to benefit from this as well because he just needed to get out of there. See what you want.
Yeah, they still got Booyah. He's still a number one
Right.
corner.
Right.
It's a matter of filling in on the other side.
Anyway, Atlanta sitting at 1-5. Julio Jones, 8.8 targets per game, 5.7 receptions. That's nearly enough. Not nearly enough. 78 receiving yards per game, only 4 touchdowns. Austin Hooper leads the team in that category in receiving yards, which may tell you a lot about some of the crap that's going on in Atlanta.
Yep.
But Rams going into Atlanta,
I'm taking the Rams.
Yeah, I have to take the Rams. I think it's over for Atlanta. We talked about it
Aaron
last week.
Donald and Jalen Ramsey. That's a good combination,
Yeah.
man, to build your defense around.
Agreed. We both agree with that. The Rams get off the schneid. Anyway, let's move on. The 4-1 Buffalo Bills, maybe the second best team in the AFC right now.
Buffalo.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're playing Miami.
Yeah. And they're right. Miami goes. But hey, old friend Ryan Fitzpatrick's in there, right? 2+,
Unbelievable.
3 out of 5 games against the Bills, 2+ TD passes. Who's he going to throw to? Who's going to protect him?
He threw a lot to the Bills in 2011, and he'll be throwing a lot to the Bills in 2019.
And give him a Harvard graduate, right?
Yeah.
Who has been around a long time in the NFL. He's doing the right thing. Having said that, the Bills have allowed 17 points or fewer in 6 consecutive games. But the last 2 times the Bills have started 4-1, they've finished the season with a losing record.
Yeah. Was that 2011?
Yeah,
Chan Gailey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
No.
Different.
You can't even.
This team's for
I
real.
love Sean McDermott.
Yeah.
He's a good coach.
This team's for me
They
too.
do a good job. Billy Beane's done a good job of helping build this team.
Do they have a shot at the division?
They have a legitimate shot because them and the Patriots both have weak schedules coming down.
Yeah.
Coming down to it.
Yeah.
And if one trips up, the other one's going to jump ahead. My only question about this game is whether Buffalo's going to shut them out or not this week. That's my only question.
I agree
about
with you.
This game.
I'm not even going to ask the question.
Yeah, I already said Buffalo.
Yeah.
I was trying,
Is that what you said? Oh,
trying
okay.
not to talk about it.
No,
but
I thought you. When I said second best team in the league, I think he's in Buffalo, and I was like, yeah, in the AFC. Anyway, so we both picked Buffalo in a rout. The 2-4 Jacksonville Jaguars minus Jalen Ramsey go to the 0-6 Cincinnati Bengals. Bengals have lost 4 of 6 games by 6 or fewer points now. The defense has allowed 184.5 rush yards per game, which is the most in the league. And Andy Dalton is the only quarterback 35-plus pass attempts in each game, but that's because they're behind all the time.
Yep.
I like Jacksonville. I think will benefit from this. I like what they're doing. 2-4. Leonard Fournette having a really decent year, and I think the defense will flourish without Jalen Ramsey. I like Jacksonville in this game.
Yeah, I like Jacksonville too, and I just want to see if AJ Green comes back this week because I had to pull him off IR in fantasy this week, so he's getting close to coming back, which was good. They didn't put him on the IR. If that's the case, if he comes back before he would have.
Does Cincinnati miss Marvin Lewis as much as they may? Do you think? I don't think so either.
No,
But
they were gonna be 0-6
because there's still some talent on that team.
Yeah.
But they have to go to this, the change.
They got to find a quarterback.
You don't like the red rifle? He's not doing
It's
it.
time to move on.
It is.
I'm just saying they need a guy progressive to move on with the.
You may have to do like the Miami's doing and start jettisoning some of these guys out of there.
Yeah, they could dump some guys, but they still got some good front seven.
Yeah, they
talent.
do. I agree. Yeah, right. That's true too. But 0-6, where do you go from here? The Detroit Lions at 2-1, who lost to the referees last week,
Yes.
by the way, and we'll get into that. That was ridiculous. They entertained the Minnesota Vikings at 4-2. Minnesota's 0-2 in the division thus far. Looks like Stephon Diggs is not going anywhere, by the way.
Yeah, he wasn't anyway.
Right.
So
Patriot fans, can we just pop that bubble?
Yeah, because Minnesota wanted $21 million a dead cap.
Right.
So
right.
just to benefit the
But
Patriots.
it's coming up now at the Patriots that they can just, by some of the fan base, we'll just go out and get Stephon Diggs. We'll just go out and get these people.
Yeah,
Not
you gotta,
necessarily.
You got to look at the other side where $21 million in dead money when you don't have the money
Exactly.
to cover that.
Exactly.
No, it's not going to happen.
Right. It's frugal up there in Foxborough.
Yeah.
Right. We know that.
No, I'm saying on the Minnesota side. It
Oh, on the
would've
Minnesota.
been $21 million in dead money because it's the first year of a 5-year contract. So all the bonuses would get thrown in.
Right.
Bang, you're eating all that money.
That's a lot of money.
And you're just trading away salary, straight salary.
Exactly. And you're competitive. You're 4-2.
Yeah.
And he's not going anywhere.
Yeah, there's no reason to.
No. Matt Stafford last posted a 100-yard passer rating versus Minnesota in 2015. So that's, again, another historical perspective. Detroit's 2-1. I think they're better than the record. And last week, good old friend Trey Flowers. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, no, that was awful. And Trey's been doing that his whole career. That's part of his leverage points.
Such a good, and we were talking about on the way in, such a good game. All we talked about is the referees after, and that's what bothers me about the NFL.
I'll tell you, one of the smartest things I've seen in a long time was the running back going down at the 2-yard line, though,
Yes.
to kick the field goal.
Absolutely.
Not putting, because you got Prater on the other side. What are you going to drive, maybe 30, 40 yards?
Easily.
Attempt a long field goal to win the game?
Usually you have like 2 or 3
Good
over
job
60
getting
yards.
down.
Yeah, it was
that
great.
was good. That's high IQ football right there.
Yeah, it was great. We're gonna after our first week, we're gonna pontificate. Before we're not taking a break now. We got more games to go, but we're gonna talk a little bit about the refereeing and the games and the longevity of the games and how it pertains to the future of the NFL. This is an interesting game here. Good divisional matchup. Minnesota's got a decent D. I like Detroit to bounce back at home.
It's a short week for Detroit, but
I like the
Minnesota
Lions.
on the road, I never feel comfortable
No,
with
me
Kirk
neither.
Cousins on the road or every other week.
Jekyll and Hyde, baby.
So I'm going to go with Detroit, too.
Yeah.
The angry team.
Yes.
And that whole division's really good.
It is really good.
It's going to be competitive. That's going to be fun to watch.
It's a great-
Especially if Trubisky comes back and
Sure.
just that Chicago D regains its form after that
Yeah.
Oakland loss.
But I'm rooting for Detroit here. And
Oh,
I
yeah.
think, right, if the anger plays any part in this, they make a little statement here. Interesting. Oakland 3-2 coming off a bye goes to Green Bay, who's 5-1.
Sneaky good game.
Yeah, really good game. Raiders are surprisingly good at the moment. And let's see, Josh Jacobs has the most rush yards of any player, any running back with fewer than 100 carries. He's
Not
getting
surprising.
No,
'cause
he's
you
getting-
know he loves to pound the rocks. So.
yeah.
I mean, that's just the Gruden staple is to run the football.
Raiders returned to Oakland in 1995, and the Packers are the only team they haven't beaten since that return. They're 0-5 against Green Bay.
This may happen this week.
Yeah.
This may happen.
Would not shock
Short
me.
week.
Would not shock
This
me.
team's playing for its coach.
They are.
You got to give Gruden credit for everything. Him and Mayock have put a good product on the field despite everything they went through with the AB situation. Tyrell Williams has been down. They've been able to move the ball. They were able to run the ball. They're getting pass rush. They could be a team that could be a buyer.
Sure.
At the trade deadline for a pass rusher.
And if you're looking at what happened in Kansas City with Mr. Mahomes out for a while, you win this week. You're right with him.
Yep.
You're right there.
Yeah, so you're in the conversation, and then maybe you make some moves. So let's see what Mayock has up his sleeve.
Yeah. Tough game for me to pick.
I'm taking Oakland.
I'm taking Oakland on the road.
I got a
They've already
about
come
Oakland
east once
this week.
Yeah.
They've already come and beat Indianapolis in one of these west to east games.
Right. As much as it pains me being a diehard Chief fan, but hey, you know what? The NFL, and I'll say it again, is a much better league, more entertaining when the Raiders are good.
Yep.
Say what you want. They're a polarizing team.
There's certain teams. We need the Redskins back, too.
Yes, we do. Tradition and history with that team. Daniel Snyder, get out of here.
Oh, God, sell.
Yeah.
Sell, Lord Farquhar, sell.
One of the more intriguing games on the docket this week, the Indianapolis Colts at 3-2 entertain the 4-2 Houston Texans. Texans got it done last week against the Chiefs.
Indy the week before against the Chiefs. They both won at Arrowhead, so they've shown the ability to go into a tough environment and win.
Right.
Home field doesn't mean anything. Going on the road doesn't mean
No.
anything to either one of these teams. So
Jacoby Brissett is 3-0 for the Colts versus the Texans, and he has averaged 142 rush yards per game this season, which is fourth in the league. 5 of Houston's 6 games have been close, all by 1 score. Deshaun Watson has not been sacked in consecutive games. It's the first time of his career. He's been sacked 80 times since the start of last year.
yeah, Tunsil's been a great pickup for them.
Right.
They lost Titus Howard to an injury last week.
Right.
They pulled Dan Skipper, the big 6'9" tackle off the Patriots practice squad, onto their active roster.
And Skipper.
Dan Skipper, a favorite of one Greg Bedard.
You love the name, right?
Yep. Dan Skipper.
Hey, Dan Skipper. But you know what? That tells you a lot about that. I don't think Watson's toughness will ever be questioned by anybody.
No, he takes a beating.
He takes a beating. Right. And he keeps his team in games, man. When he's on the field, good things happen with this Houston team.
Yeah, no, they're always in a game.
Yeah.
And just even last week, they were down 17-3. It was patient. They stuck with the game plan.
They did.
Which is so important.
Good
you
call.
Get down 14, you don't abandon your game plan.
Good call.
Especially in the first half.
The 4th down call with 2 minutes left.
Go for the jugular.
Absolutely. Bill O'Brien does some good things, too. And that was a gutsy call on the road. You have nothing to lose. And they went and got it done, and they beat the boys. So this is a real interesting game. Wow.
I'm going to take Indy.
Boy, you know what? I'm leaning towards Indy myself.
I'm going to take Indy.
We're both taking Indy. We agree a lot this week, buddy.
Yeah, Marlon Mack. This sucks. Bad radio. We're agreeing.
We can still disagree with some things. It's not the games. Anyway, back on the other side, like I said, we're going to talk a little bit about, I need to get something off my chest about all this refereeing and flag throwing and it's the crap that's going on in the NFL other than the product on the field. So we'll be back with more of the E2G Sports podcast after this.
Another summer has passed, and once again your dream of having a pool in your backyard has come and gone. Right now is the time to make sure it doesn't happen again. Call Apollo Pools and Spas now and lock your date in for the pool you have always wanted, for you, your family, and friends to enjoy. Don't wait another minute. Call Matt Collins at Apollo Pools and Spas at 508-923-7381. 508-923-7381. Apollo Pools and Spas is located on Route 44, Lakeville, Mass. In today's day and age, security isn't a luxury, it's a must. That's why it's time you call Total Security Technology. Whether you're protecting your house from a break-in or package poachers, or protecting your business from vandals or thieves, Total Security Technology will help prevent the crime from happening or catch the criminal in the act with their state-of-the-art security system. Call the area's foremost security expert, Scott Bazinet, at Total Security Technology for a consult. Call Scott at 401-297-7982. That's 401 297-7982. Quality counts at Highland Fence. Highland Fence has been keeping neighbors friendly and protecting your businesses for 31 years. That's 31 years of serving Southeastern Mass and Rhode Island. Whether it's residential or commercial, Highland Fence's reputation is second to none. Remember, quality counts at Highland Fence. Call Highland Fence at 508-678-4650. 508-678-4650.
And welcome back to the E2G Sports Podcast. Tyler O'Neill, our producer for the day, getting it done on the other side. Buddy Andrade to my right. I'm Johnny Sunchips, and we're happy to talk football with you. Any feedback? Facebook.com, YouTube.com. Let us know. HurricaneRadio.net is our sponsor, or one of the many, so we can be reached at all different angles. Let us know how you feel. Any questions, like I said, comments. We're open to any sort of criticism. We're used to it. We get a lot of it. I do mostly negative, so I'm ready to deal with all the bad stuff. Bring it on. Bring it. What are you shaking your head for? It is a self-fulfilling prophecy?
Yeah, you should see the people protesting outside. It's a good thing you can't see the street
you're
from
right.
where you are.
How the heck are we going to get out of here?
Yeah, it's amazing.
Holy bleep. Anyway, before we move on with the slate.
Scratch that itch.
This is why I cannot. Football is, much as I love it, I can't stand all the stoppage of play. And it gets worse and worse every year with the changes in rules, all this and that. You have a 4 o'clock, it used to be 1 and 4 o'clock games on Sundays. Now it's a 4:15, 4:25
Well, it's
start.
been 4:25 for over 10 years.
Right, but
so it's been a while.
Right,
but they're running into each other.
Thank you very much.
That is the situation.
And go ahead.
You don't have that time in between games anymore.
You don't.
That you used to have.
Right. And it's going to get worse now because you're going to see more and more as the seasons progress. It's my opinion. More rule changes, more replays. Games are going to become longer now because there's going to be more and longer replays every single year, it seems to me. And it starts now. I mean, the calls, the interference calls have changed, and the games are getting boring, and they're not as structured. There's no flow anymore to a game.
No, not at all.
You could not pay me to go. I'm not saying pay me. Making a point here. I'd rather watch a game at home on television than go to a game live and watch the players with hands on hips as the timeouts come back from TV. All the broken play. I mean all the stoppage in plays with all the calls. It's boring now to go to a football game live.
Yeah, I do one a year, and it was a long game because I kept looking up at the clock, and it was like 4 o'clock, and there was still like 8 minutes left in the fourth quarter.
If you're looking at if you're looking at the clock in a football game, the time clock, something's wrong right there.
Yeah.
It's a red flag. So I don't like it, and I don't see it getting any better. And I think the NFL may outsmart themselves by putting in the replay because it doesn't seem to be getting things done. And it seems like every year, and again, I'm going to say it, we're going to see more and more calls having to be reviewed. And that's not good for the game.
No, I totally agree with you. No, if you seriously, this week, when you're watching the games, just monitor at the bottom. You'll see games, first quarter, 2 minutes left. Your game is first quarter, 7 minutes left.
Right.
Because there's been a couple of reviews or penalties or injuries. And you always find that there's one game that's 3:40.
Bingo.
Done.
Yeah.
And then you have your laggers. And I set up my screen at home, my DirecTV. I got all 9 squares filled. I got a paper that tells me which game is which.
Pee-wee's Playhouse personified.
Oh, yeah.
Right
it's
here.
unbelievable what I do.
I know.
Yeah. I have issues. I'm not afraid
No,
to admit it.
but those aren't bad issues.
But
no,
and I mark down, fast. I'll put an F.
Right.
Like, this game's running ahead. So if this game's close, go to this game to watch the end of it.
Right.
You know, the Patriots come first, and then I try to watch the games in the order they finish. You know, I'll start with a game. But I'll move because of the end of the games.
And that's what you have to do now. And I think it's geared with that, with the Red Zone, the NFL Network, and everything that goes on. But it's disenchanting to me. It's kind of ruining the sport, ruining the flow. I mean, you'll have your diehards, and as long as fantasy football is around, they'll get ratings all the time.
Yep.
These obscure games that can be not as appealing to the naked eye viewer who has nothing to do with anything but what's on the TV and the product people are going to be watching because they have a tight end who needs 6 points.
Yep.
in the fourth quarter of a 30-3 blowout on Monday Night Football between two teams you don't even care about.
Yep.
So ratings are always going to be there, which is what the NFL is about. And part of me just it just ruins the game.
Yeah. No, I
it
totally
takes
agree
away
with you.
from a really great game. It really does.
Nope, I'm
And
totally
that's-
with you on
yeah.
that.
So it's very
Like I said, watch this week. Just if you're watching a specific game, watch when they show the ticker, where games are.
right.
And you can tell which games probably have a lot of penalties and injuries and stuff going on, and ones that are just moving along quickly. Like there was a long drive at some point in time,
Right.
and it just kept the clock moving.
Right. And we're going to talk more, and that's what bothered me again about the Detroit Green Bay game. It's such a good game, good teams, a lot of different stories in there. What were we talking about? Officials.
Yep.
That was the number one story by far. The game meant nothing, and that's what we're going to talk about every single week you watch. Monday morning,
There's going to be a game
right, at least one,
where we're going to hear about it,
where it's going to be more about the officials than about the actual product on the
what
field.
happened on
Right.
the field.
Thank you very much.
Not you to get to talk about a guy named Lazard who came out of nowhere and made
Right.
some great plays.
Really great place.
That's what should have been the point.
Thank you.
Was this guy came off the scrap heap and went out there and made plays,
Yeah.
and we were talking about penalties.
Exactly, and it takes away from the game, and it actually pisses me off. So,
Okay,
I do.
let's move on.
I feel a little better. Let's move along. Where the heck were we? All right.
I think the Edmonton Oilers game.
Eskimos. The Arizona Cardinals, who are on the upswing. The arrow's moving up on Arizona. We talked about it a minute
Yep.
ago. 2-3-1. They go to the New York Giants, play in the Meadowlands in New Jersey. The Giants are 2-4. Kyler Murray is the first quarterback in the Super Bowl era with 20-plus completions in each of his first 6 career games. I was in as high on him coming out as you were.
I was very high on
He's proven me wrong.
Yep.
He's proven me wrong. And if you're an Arizona Cardinal fan, the future's looking a little bright.
You know what I like about
you might
him
have to go
is
buy the
he's-
shades.
He's 5'10", and he can stand in the pocket and make plays. He
Yeah.
doesn't have to run around.
Right,
He has that ability.
right.
And you saw him in Oklahoma, so I'm kind of surprised you're not a fan.
I
of
just
his.
was not. I was a fan, but I didn't think Nicky was going to
pro ready.
Exactly.
Okay.
That's what I thought.
All right, that makes sense.
Yeah.
And I think it's a height issue for a lot of people, and that's just
That wasn't it for me, because I
that's
don't.
unfortunate because I thought Russell Wilson bucked that trend.
And he continues to do so.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Not the tallest guy, but
He's bucking the trend.
yep,
Yeah.
can stand in the pocket and make all the throws.
Right. The Giants are averaging 93 rush yards per game. in the
Saquon may be back this
Right,
week.
right. And when Saquon, that's in the 3 games without Saquon. When Saquon's there, they average 140. So don't count this Giant team out, because right now they're 1 game back in the division. So that's a team, and this division's been like that for a few years, very competitive. But a 9-7 team could win this division and get a first-round home game.
Yep.
That's all you need to know about the NFC East. Part of me wants to. Arizona's on the upswing. If Barkley's back, which I think he could be, right?
Yep. They
You got-
give up a lot of rushing yards.
Yeah. I'm taking the Giants in this one.
I'm gonna take Arizona. I'm gonna take another West East, which I'm usually totally against, but
Get a little affinity for Arizona, don't you?
yeah,
Which is good.
yeah.
Nothing
I think
wrong.
their defense is horrible, but I like what Murray's doing. I
Yeah,
like the pieces they got around.
I do
him.
too. And Kingsbury, a lot of people laughing and going, "What is he? Why is he deserving of a head coaching job?" Thus far, 6 games in, can't argue that he's there at the helm. So
Nope.
kudos to Arizona for doing that. Let's move on. The Patriots and this team are the only undefeated teams in the league. That would be the San Francisco 49ers, who are 5-0. They go to the hapless Washington Redskins, coming off their first win in a tough environment in Miami.
Oh yeah,
It was a big win for
yeah.
them.
That was a big crowd.
Big win. 17-16.
Dozens.
Can they build off of that one point victory? The Redskins have not won consecutive games since week 6, 7, and 8 last year, where they won 3. What do you think about this Niner team? They for real?
Yeah,
Yeah.
because of that front four.
Yes.
Nick Bosa's draft pick with the other talented guys up front that they had in Buckner and Armstead and that group up front, and adding Quan Alexander to be the middle linebacker. They're slotted really well.
Mm-hmm.
They're playing in their positions. They were out of position last year in the system they were running. Now you bring in a D Ford, you get another pass rusher.
My boy D Ford.
My boy D Ford too.
Auburn, Kansas City. Yep.
War Eagle.
Yep.
So, yeah, no,
They're for real.
they're for real.
Yeah.
That's a good front.
That's a
really good.
That's
front.
a real good front, and they can run the ball as well. The other side.
Even with you check out, they able to run the ball some last
Yeah.
week.
And old friend Jimmy Garoppolo. I'm telling you, if these two teams go the way they're going,
That'd be crazy.
wouldn't it be? But wouldn't that be just what? Wouldn't that be in line with what's happened with the Patriots? I mean, of all things, Brady going against his old team, at the team that he grew up rooting for in Northern California, Jimmy Garoppolo, his backup quarterback, and now starting going against him. We can't get that far ahead, but a lot can happen. But right now, yeah, it's still the topic of you can enter in the topic of conversation, if you will. The San Francisco 49ers have held opponents to 20-plus points or fewer in every game this far.
And it's going to continue this
Yeah.
week.
The third team in NFL history to start 5-0 after losing 12 games the year before. So, you can do that in the NFL. Bounce back that quickly.
Yeah, especially when you build up a D.
Yeah. Slam dunk
Yeah,
49er victory.
Yeah, it's 49er victory.
But anything can happen in the NFL
Yeah.
on any given Sunday for some teams, not the Redskins. But we talked about it too. The Redskins are one of those teams from a football standpoint, historical standpoint.
We need
Absolutely.
this team to be good.
Absolutely.
We
So
need them to be relevant. Never mind good. Relevant.
we need the fans to pick it and not go to these games and hit Daniel Snyder.
It's what's
right
going on?
where
If
it
you saw
counts.
that
Yeah,
New England game,
yeah,
there
there's
was
some
a lot of New
right,
England fans.
right. But
And that's a big stadium. They've torn out seats.
think about that. More New England fans in Washington than Washington fans. That would not have happened 10 years ago.
No.
That's how bad that team's fallen.
Nope.
Don't- I don't-
It's
and I
really
don't-
gotten bad.
Right, and we can hide behind, well, the fans travel well, but no.
Nope, not in that case.
No, not at all. That's
this was overwhelming. This
Yes.
was ridiculous.
very, very, very disconcerting if you're an NFL fan, much less a Redskin fan. So we both agree with the Niners on this one. 4 or 5 games start off, 4 or 5 p.m. Eastern. The Los Angeles Chargers at 2-4. They go to Tennessee and to face a 2-4 Tennessee Titans. But people knock this Chargers team. But can we all agree here, as fans and of any sport, that when you're playing home, that fan base can actually help you in causes?
That was bad last week.
It was horrible last
you know
week.
What's even worse? You know who they're playing in a few weeks at home?
To me.
Green Bay.
Oh, my goodness.
What is that going to look like?
It's horrible.
Those people aren't going to be going out to the warmth. It's probably like snowing now in Wisconsin.
Right.
You don't think they're looking forward to go to L.A. to go see their team play?
But just the fact that there are a lot of people who probably migrated from Wisconsin to California to live their lives. But it's a sad thing because, and you can't, I'm not knocking it. They won 12 games last year, playing every game on the road.
Yep.
And I'm going to stick with that. They're playing every game on the road. They don't have a home game, this team, at all. Never. They've never had a crowd benefit them since the start of last year.
Yeah.
That they've cheered for the Chargers more than the opposition. Think about that, where that can actually help a team.
Yep. No,
talk
that
about
was
that-
bad last week.
you talk
with
about the 12th man in
Steelers.
Seattle.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, it's horrible. So I kind of feel for that team as much as
This is an interesting game because I think this is the season on the line for both teams.
Tennessee's. This is a must-win game for them.
This is a must-win for the Chargers.
Yeah, true. You're right, boy.
They're in third place too.
Master the obvious. Yeah. So the Chargers are 9-2 away from their home stadium, which backs up our point.
Yeah.
They
play it.
they play better
away
on the
on the-
they're more at home on the road than they are at home.
How many Charger fans do you have in your life?
I knew one, maybe 2.
Did you?
Yeah.
Congratulations.
You have 0.
I may mail you something. There might be a prize for that.
Those particle uniforms are the best ever in the
I
NFL,
know.
though.
I know one diehard
Do you really?
Chargers fan.
In the area here?
Yeah, in Westport.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Diehard Chargers fan.
And they don't have to go back to San Diego. Just give them a home to live that they can just play in and develop a fan base. It's hard for them. Anyway, Tennessee has, we talk about an inept offense, have scored 7 or fewer points in 3 of the last 4 games.
Yeah, now the switch over to Tannehill, and I don't think it matters. You know my affinity for Marcus
I
Mariota, but
I know.
he's just not.
They're a quarter.
He's not getting the job
no,
done. And
No. And you're going to produce within 2 or 3 years, or you're going to be not maybe out of the league, much less.
The first 2
Back
picks
up.
of the 2015 draft were Jameis Winston and Marcus Mariota. I think both their teams are moving on from them.
You have to.
And my only question is for both those teams, is there replacement in the league or is there replacement in college at this point in time?
It's a good point.
That's what I'm curious about.
But you're right. So now we can kind of say after last week with Tampa and what's going on here with the benching of Mariota that they're going to move forward.
Winston would have gotten benched last week, but they have nobody to put in.
It's horrible.
Byron Leftwich should have just gone out there without a uniform.
He is one of those guys who shows flashes of brilliance and just from one extreme to the other.
Yeah.
There's no medium with him.
It was bad.
Yeah.
That was a really bad performance for a guy who threw for 400 yards last week.
That's 5 glaring interceptions, man. That was horrible. This is a tough game for me, buddy. But you know what? The Chargers feel more at home on the road. I'm taking the Chargers in this game.
I'm going to go opposite. I'm going to go Tennessee.
All right.
I'm going to step up this week. I think it's a Derrick Henry game.
Could
Benny
be.
Snell ran for 74 yards. I think Derrick Henry can run for 100 plus
Big old.
on this defense.
He'd be a big boy rumbling and stumbling downfield, don't he? Okay, let's go. New Orleans at 5-1, getting the job done without Teddy. Although Breeze is in, Breeze is starting to grip the ball and throw the ball a little bit. So I'm not going to call it a quarterback controversy because I don't think he's going to unseat Breeze.
No,
But
they got a great chip.
Yep, no question about it. They know what they have behind them, and that's not a bad thing. Moving forward, they go to take on the Chicago Bears at 3-2. Chicago's 0-5 since the start of 14 after a bye week.
That's not good.
Not at all.
Wow.
They have only allowed one 100-yard receiver this season, though. That's Stephon Diggs. But 0-5 after a bye week, that should be when you
galvanize the troops and you come out with a good game plan
Right.
because you've had 2 weeks to prepare
Sure.
for a team while they probably played the week before.
tells you a lot. Right, tells you a lot about the coaching.
Yeah, and that's only one of those is Nagy. Don't get me wrong, but
Right.
that guy's too cute for my liking.
What, Nagy?
Yeah, they're lining guys up everywhere. Cordero Patterson's taking handoffs when you got 3 guys in the backfield who can
Little too finesse.
absolutely carry.
You know what's funny, too?
Like they're trying. It's almost like style points.
Finesse.
It's driving me nuts with that team.
Just go north and south if you can, right?
Yeah, hand it off to Montgomery and let him run 5 yards forward.
Thank you.
I don't need a jet sweep fake
2nd and 5
pitch
is
to the right.
2nd and 5 is a great situation. And you think about it, you have a finesse offense, allegedly, and you've got a ferocious defense,
Yeah,
right? And whether that's in the scheme of things with Nagy, who knows? But make a good point.
No.
So you get a running back, 5 yards in a cloud of dust, man. You get 5 yards of crack, 2nd and 5, you take it every day, every series.
I don't need to see Cordero Patterson lined up in the backfield when you have 3 running backs and hand it off to him. And he has no pad level. He runs with no pad level.
No, not at all.
Standing straight up. He's a hit away from fumbling the ball and your defense being back on the field.
Yeah.
It's maddening.
I
I watch a lot of Bears football because of my wife.
Yes.
But it really is maddening. They're trying to be cute all the time.
Less can be more sometimes, even in the NFL.
Yes.
Right. And that's one instance where they can get it done. Teddy Bridgewater has won 7 of his last 8 road starts.
Good for him.
Defense the last 3 games for the New Orleans Saints. 13 points per games allowed. 245 total yards per game. 75.6 opponent passer rating. So the defense is obviously chipping in as well. It's a good team in New Orleans, man. Good team on both sides of the ball. Tough game here going into Chicago. I'm taking Teddy on the road. Go 8 of 9 in road starts.
I'm gonna go opposite. I'm gonna go Chicago.
Is that because of wifey?
No.
Not at all?
No.
Little bit?
No.
Carolyn? Little bit, Carolyn? Come
Wow. What's that supposed to mean?
No, a little. Don't tip for face value. A little. You're picking Chicago because Carolyn's.
Yeah,
Make it-
it is what it is. Cool.
What is it? It is what it is. So you need to tell me what it is before it is what it is. So what is it? Is it a little bit of Carolyn in the pick?
Yeah.
Okay,
a
that's
little
all
bit
you
of the
need to see.
home favoritism.
You feel good?
Yeah, I feel better getting that out.
I have exercised the demons.
Yep.
Love it. Yeah, we get real life here as well. I'd probably do the same thing, buddy, if that makes you feel any better.
Well, that's good to hear.
Yeah, sarcasm is one of your better fortitudes. Okay, the Ravens at 4-2 go into Seattle. First time Lamar Jackson is going to be introduced to the quote-unquote 12th man, if you will. Seattle 5-1. Big comeback win at Cleveland last week. I had Cleveland in that game, and they looked pretty darn good. Hey, Russell Wilson, we talked about him earlier. He's thrown outside the numbers on 59% of his passes.
Really?
Yeah.
So he's moving around some.
Yep. Part of his arsenal. Getting it done. He looks really good. He looks every bit the MVP thus far.
It's him and McCaffrey right now. For
Yeah,
me.
right.
Especially with Mahomes down now. I think it's those two as the leaders in the clubhouse.
Agree. Baltimore allowing 111 yards per game to slot receivers this year, fourth most in the NFL. They're on pace to be the first team since 1977 Bears to average at least 200 rush yards per game. They're at 205 because the quarterback runs.
Yeah, quarterback runs and Ingram.
Right.
Between the
Bingo.
tackles type guy.
So they're probably going to do that, but that doesn't mean it's
Yeah.
successful. Lamar Jackson, tough environment to go into for the first time.
Very interesting. It's
Yes.
a good matchup. This is another
Marcus Peters now, though.
interesting. Yeah, see who Peters matches up on. But like I said it the other day, Marcus Peters is a big play waiting to happen for both teams.
Right. Agreed.
That's the problem with Marcus
Right.
Peters.
Right.
He's too much of a gambler.
Bingo. Not a good head on the shoulders of a real
And
good talented.
that wears out quickly. And if you wear out in Wade Phillips' system doing that, that's not a good sign.
Right. But having, on the flip side of that, change of scenery could do good. He could prosper in the system if he does the right thing.
Yeah, but he's going to have to take the coaching.
Absolutely.
He hasn't done that yet. That's why he's
No,
on his third team.
He didn't do that in Kansas City either. We knew that as well. I can't help but pick Seattle on that.
I'm picking Seattle, too.
You got
This
it.
is going to be a good game, though.
Lots of good games this week. Lots of good games on the slate. We go to the Sunday night game.
These two teams love each other. These two fan bases. They have bake sales together.
You know what? Any other team, Garrett would be on the hot seat.
The clapper.
But he's been there for 12 years, so he's not going anywhere. Can we agree with that? So a 3-3 Dallas team that started out 3-0, looking like world beaters, right? I believe they started out 3-0. I have to look it up.
Yeah, Dallas started out
Looked
3-0.
really good,
Yeah.
and we talked
They were
about
going
it.
to the Super Bowl. Yeah.
Right, or one of the contenders.
Yeah.
They're falling flat on their faces, but Jason Garrett is not on the hot seat. Thank you, Jerry Jones.
You know why?
Yep. Geppetto. I'm Pinocchio. You're Geppetto.
Jerry, what did you say I should say?
Yeah. He's been there 12 years.
That's unbelievable.
12 years.
Well, 2010, he took over as head coach after that debacle in Green Bay. He hasn't been head coach for 12 years. I'm going to say week 10, 2010, he took over.
Okay, I think you probably
If you want to Wikipedia that, but
Yeah.
Just off the top of my head.
Keep talking. Yeah, so anyway, so Dallas and Philadelphia both sitting at 3-3. Winner could, granted it's early, but the winner will definitely lead the NFC East.
Yeah, probably, nice leg up, especially if you're the road team, if you're Philadelphia and you go win that. Because you see each other again.
Philly's allowing 280 pass yards per game, the most since the Chip Kelly era in 2013. Zeke Elliott has averaged 115.8 yards rushing per game versus the Eagles in his career. And I put Jason Garrett on the hot seat. Definite none of that, which is sad.
Nope, it's too much of a puppet. They got to find another puppet. And nobody puppets like Jason Garrett.
Nobody puppets like him. From Princeton, right? Jason Garrett, an Ivy League guy.
And he's got this guy just pulling the strings on him. Kind of embarrassing.
You know, as much as I want to pick Dallas,
I'm taking Philadelphia.
me too.
They're coming in with a mindset. There's a lot of trash talk already going on.
Yeah, exactly. It's
Peterson's guaranteed a victory. I just think overall they're the better team, and if they run the ball, that's Dallas's weakness. Is they have a lot of good pass rushers up front, but nobody who really wants to defend the run.
two teams that, again, do not like each other at all.
Bake sales together.
Yes. All right. The game we usually finish with, because it's local, is also the last game on the slate. Buys this week: Cleveland, Pittsburgh, Tampa Bay, Carolina. Enjoy the golf course. Spend good time with your families. Be safe. Don't drink and drive.
Don't punch Myles Garrett
Yes.
either. Not a good idea.
All right. So the Jets at 1-4 getting off the slide last week. Take on the 6-0 New England Patriots. Mr. Donald being back at helm changes this game
Changes everything.
quite a bit.
Yes, it does.
Great performance last week.
Nice throw to Anderson. That deep ball's alive.
We talked about it going into that game, what a quarterback can do for the team morale, the team play, and it certainly showed. And Greg Williams coached his ass off last week for the Jets. Coached his ass off.
And still, it came down to a 2-point conversion,
Right.
despite everything they did well.
Right.
Against a Dallas team that's going the other way. That's the only thing that concerns me with the Jets is this was a win against a team going the other way.
Right. But if you're a Dallas team, we'll get through this. Actually, we're gonna take a break. Let's take a break now. We'll get more to this game. But if you're a Dallas team or Dallas fan, you lost to a different Jet team that was 0-4 coming in.
You didn't lose to the team the Patriots beat in Week 3.
Right. So we're going to take a quick break. We'll get to this and New England stuff because we have a little fallout, a little stuff we're going to talk about, sidebar to what's on the field. So we'll be back with a little more of sports. Sports Talk and the E2G Sports Podcast. Buddy Andy, Johnny Hearn, Tyler O'Neill getting it done for you. We'll be back shortly with more talk.
Potty Dress Express is your one-stop shop for a dress for any occasion. Whether it's a prom, a graduation, a special night on the town, or your wedding. Potty Dress Express has over 15,000 dresses in stock and prices to fit any budget. Potty Dress Express is located at the Tower Mill, 657 Quarry Street in Fall River, Mass. Open 7 days a week. Call Potty Dress Express at 508-677-1575. That's 508-677-1575. Do you want to feel radiant, beautiful, and confident? Do you want to feel 10 years younger? Come to Spa Number 5, the Face Fox, located at 580 Wood Street in Bristol, Rhode Island. From Botox fillers to laser fillers and top-of-the-line skincare, Spa Number 5 has all you need to feel beautiful again. Go to spa-5.com or visit us at 580 Wood Street in Bristol, Rhode Island. Take advantage of all our fall specials happening now. Spa Number 5, the Face Fox.
Are you ready for some football? Join the Troy City Titans on Saturday, October 12th at 7:30 p.m. at Mac Aldrich Field on the campus of Durfee High School for their final home game of the season against their arch rival, the Middleborough Cobras. You can also enter our raffle for a chance to win a 2012 Nissan Titan truck sponsored by 24autogroup.com. Raffle tickets are available for the rest of this month. The winning ticket will be drawn at this game. Raffle tickets are $25 and available by calling 774-955-7111. The Troy City Titans. Be there!
Welcome back to third and final segment here of the E2G Sports Podcast, Ear to the Ground Sports. Like the dog's ear to the ground, they can hear everything rumbling and stumbling underneath the pavement. Anyway, we'll get one more game on the slate, and we're going to kind of wrap it up there, put a little bow tie on this little...
we do have a fantasy question.
Yeah, we do. Good,
From our great friend, John Crow. We love this guy.
JC, you're the best, man. What's the question?
Hey, guys. First time, long time.
Beautiful.
That's very nice. We get a dime every time somebody says their first-time caller.
7 cents after taxes.
Yeah, so it is what it is.
Thanks, JC. What's up?
I need a wide receiver to pick up with Amari Cooper and Deshaun Jackson still questionable. Any thoughts? If you're looking for this week, John Brown's hurt in Buffalo.
Mm-hmm.
Grab Duke Williams. They pulled him up a few weeks ago off the practice squad. He scored the game-winning touchdown in the Titans game. When we were up in Buffalo, all we heard about was wait until Duke Williams get activated off the practice squad.
Right.
He's an Auburn guy, got kicked off the team, went
War
to
Eagle.
Canada, played well in Canada, finally got a chance. I think he had a chance with the Rams a few years ago. He didn't make it, went to Canada, came back. He's with the Bills now. Pick up Duke Williams this week as a receiver, and he's going to have some points against that secondary.
I would think so.
He's a big-bodied catch guy.
Right.
And Zay Jones is gone. They jettisoned Zay Jones for him. John Brown, I'd rest him. You're playing Miami. Duke Williams is my guy to pick up this week, wide receiver-wise.
No letdown here with the Bills, right? No letdown game here?
Nope.
All right, I'm JC. Appreciate the thoughts. Appreciate you chiming in.
There's an empty seat over here.
I want to get you here in studio. All right? We're going to get you here in studio at some point. We're going to get you here. You're more than welcome. We'll talk. We know how to reach each other. We'll get it done. But anyway, thanks for the question, man. Appreciate it. Thanks for listening.
Somebody just gave me a peace sign out there.
Did they really? Nice. Jeez. So let's get back to this New England Jet game, okay? The defense for the New England has been obviously the main story. 14 interceptions, allowed only one pass TD thus far this year. Buffalo's Frank Gore is the only running back to garner or rush for more than 40 yards. He did, 17 for 109 with the Bills. But they've been able to shut down pretty much everybody else. You can argue the competition But good old Sam Darnold's back, and that opens up things for one Le'Veon Bell.
Yeah, no,
Again.
Le'Veon Bell, Robbie Anderson, Herndon's back. He's been activated after his suspension.
Big game here. This
Kind of like Watson, they're dueling tight ends.
right. Can we argue this is the best quarterback?
They're going to face so far this year?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, because he is much better than Josh
Much better.
Allen.
Much better.
Yeah.
Good pocket presence on this guy, too, Mr. Sam Darnold. It's going to be an interesting game. So Le'Veon Bell has 129 yards from scrimmage, average per year. He's tied with Terrell Davis for the most in the Super Bowl era. That's against the Patriots, I think, actually. I miswrote that. But Sam Darnold's influence, Greg Williams' game plan, we talked about that. Darnold last week, 23 at 32, 338, 10.6 per attempt. Not bad. But here's what's good about him. He's not coming back from a shoulder injury, a leg injury. It was mono. So it's not this impeding physical ailment they're going to have to watch out for.
It's not like you can tape that up.
Right.
You know.
Not that we know of anyway. It's going to be an interesting game here. Monday night. Boy.
Are you visualizing somebody taping up mono?
My kind of.
I'm going to send them for an MRI.
To just a few minutes left in the program. I can't go against New England on the road. I don't know what the point spread is this game, but this is going to be closer than a lot of people think.
This is a division rivalry. It's a Monday night game. Those people will be lick it up loud.
Lick it up loud.
Lick it up and loud.
Nice.
They're not going to work. They're Jets fans. They may not even have jobs.
But at least there's something to cheer about in New York. I'm going New England in a close game. Whoa.
Yeah.
Yep.
This is how concerned I am about this. It's stupid of me because last night, I'm 0-1. I'm 0-1 this week because I absolutely
had Denver.
I had no way Denver was losing. I
had Kansas City,
and that happened. And I'm in the same place in this game.
You're picking the Jets, aren't you?
No, I'm not.
Okay.
Remember I did that in 2006 and it happened. I called the score, and I hated myself.
You can't, but you're doing with your head against your heart. Now, would you?
No, they're winning
not
this week. I just can't picture that they have any weapons to throw to.
Would you be shocked if the Jets win this game? Shocked.
I wouldn't be shocked.
Would you be surprised?
I'd be surprised.
Okay, that's it. So, right.
So we've moved it from a 10 down to like a 7.
Exactly. But what it does, it makes a more competitive game on the field.
But I'm nervous every week. So
of course you are.
The Miami game, I was like, oh my God, hey, it's gonna be hot. You know, Kenyon Drake could do this, do that. Dan Marino can come out in his prime and throw the ball.
Kenyon Drake soon to be traded to a team near you soon.
I can conjure up any scenario where my team loses, man.
Of course you can. But it's the NFL, the Any Given Sunday, the matchups, everything's week to week, which I believe in. Some things are not going to happen, but I like this is a game where 2 weeks ago you might not have even wanted to watch if you're not a fan of any of the teams. Now it's a must-see. So we'll go both with New England. Quickly before we end.
Yeah, I got a promotion to do too. So.
All right, Michael Bennett. Is he going to? If they want to trade him, would it have not behooved the team to suspend him the way they did?
How about this? If Oakland wins this week, I think they're likely to be looking because they're right in the divisional hunt for an interior pass rusher.
So Michael Bennett will not be with this team in a week or two.
I do not believe Michael Bennett will be here after the Browns game.
Agreed. That's going to do it here in the slate.
Yeah.
There you go.
I got a promo. We had a commercial on just a little while ago. My boy Steve Moniz, Coach Mo.
Yeah, boy.
D-line coach, Troy City Titans. They're playing the Mill City Eagles tomorrow night, Durfee High School, 7 p.m. First home playoff game for the franchise. So if the city can get out there and
just party,
support the boys.
Absolutely.
And, go out and enjoy some live football on a good, probably fall night. But my guy, Mr. Steve Moniz, I'll pump it for him. Absolutely.
It's not only live, it's good football at that level.
Yeah.
Kids wanting to play. Winning.
Yeah. So get out there. Game. Something to do tomorrow night. There's not really any good college games on.
Right.
Get out and support something local. Do something local.
Everything starts, hey, you can grow globally, but act locally.
Yeah.
Right? That's what it's all about. That's what we try to do here as well. And having said that, it's another week in the hopper.
I got 2 questions for you.
Go ahead.
Over under Celtics 50 wins.
Wow, that's a tough one. Based on the preseason, decent conference, I'm going to go plus. I'm going to go over.
You're going to go over?
I'm going to go over 50.
Because of the conference?
Yeah, basically. You have Milwaukee. I think Orlando's going to be better.
I like
Philly as well. But
I like that Orlando.
Me too. Yeah, right. Philly's going to be better, but they're still one of those teams that can be schizo. What's the other question real quickly?
Bruins home and home with Toronto. How we splitting that? What are we coming out? 4 possible points. How many points we coming out with?
Coming out with 3.
3?
Yeah.
So we're going to lose 1 in overtime?
You bet.
Maybe up there tomorrow night?
Yep.
Tuesday, back here at the Garden?
Yeah.
Yeah, because this was a big 3-game stretch, and they started it off with they got a point last night.
Playing really well.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Against Tampa Bay Lightning.
The Lightning or something
So,
approved.
yeah, just the other sports. And
well,
your prediction, do the Astros close it out tonight?
They close it out tonight.
They close it out in Yankee Stadium.
Yes.
The World Series is going to start Tuesday.
Yep. Houston, Washington.
Who are you taking?
In the World Series, I like Houston.
I'm sticking with Houston. I've had Houston since they traded for Greinke.
Yep.
I said at that point in time, it's theirs to win.
Yep.
I thought it was going to be them and the Dodgers. The Dodgers are out. I respect the hell out of this Nationals pitching staff.
And if you're rooting for the underdog, a team that's never been in the World Series, you root for the
this is
Nationals.
a lot of fun. I mean, Houston won it 2 years ago, but it's not like they're
You got it.
perennial champion. So excellent.
That'll do it. We got to go. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Thank you to Tyler O'Neill, Buddy Andrade. Always a pleasure. It's been really fun. Have a great football week, and we'll see you next Friday at 11 a.m. Eastern. Thanks for tuning in to the E2G Sports Podcast on HeronRadio.net.
Life around here can be hard. Money's tight, unemployment's high, and sometimes opportunity seems too far away. You work hard and often. At times, you might not have the time or the energy to fight. The insurance companies in corporate America have endless resources and their pockets are full, and they don't fight fair. That's why when it comes to your legal matters, you need someone who's fought them and won over and over again. Someone who's going to take it personally, not get intimidated, not get bullied or pushed around for an early or honest settlement. My record is proven. The results are clear. Let me and my firm fight for you when you need it most.
At Excel Recycling, we want to turn your trash into cash today. That's right, cash money immediately for your old appliances, old automobiles, metal wire, and scrap salvage. Excel has 3 locations in the South Coast. 17 Hill Road in New Bedford, 37 Charlotte White Road in Westport, and 15 Ridge Hill Road in Asona. Nobody will pay you more than Excel. At Excel Recycling, we want to turn your trash into cash. Come see us again at 17 Hill Road in New Bedford, 37 Charlotte White Road in Westport, and 15 Ridge Hill Road in Asona.
KB Glass Company can cover all your needs. Commercial, residential, storefronts, glass replacements, custom showers, and mirrors. Whether it's for your business or your home, KB Glass is your one-stop shop for all your glass needs. Call KB Glass at 508-677-7179 or 401-639-2716.